given the evidence, given just the instance, and I have to say I got rid of another judge through the excellent work of the Judicial Commission in New South Wales a few years ago without a murmur. He was the person who's in this list here as picking up young blokes in the toilets outside Marcelin College at Randwick, abusing a daughter. The judge closed the court, this is the judge that's in this here, found the person guilty, suppressed the names, gave a non-custodial sentence to the man and let him go back to the family home. Nothing else was done. I think it's a disgrace.
Well, Senator Heffernan, can I...
During the hearing of the case and from the bench, during the case, said to the court that he thought the law was out of date and that sex for siblings should be now legal and that it shouldn't be illegal for men to have sex with children. And I found that despicable and despising and a complete bias of display from the bench. Disturbingly, documents that name in one document 28 people as alleged pedophiles, signed off by Gary Crook QC, counsel assisting an earlier Royal Commission, includes a whole lot of prominent people. We should include in the terms of reference the institution of the law. And I have documents here which the Royal Commission has seen to justify that case, and in fact every Attorney General, from Attorney General Ruddock till now, has seen some of these documents, and they are police documents, and they are very disturbing. We have in Australia, sadly, a compromise at the highest of levels. There's a former Prime Minister on this list, and it is a police document.
Evidence file used to convict paedophile Peter Wrighton, if it still exists, contains clear intelligence of a widespread paedophile ring. One of its members boasts of his links to a senior aide of a former Prime Minister who says he could smuggle indecent images of children from abroad. The leads were not followed up, but if the files still exist, I want to ensure that the Metropolitan Police secure the evidence, re-examine it, and investigate clear intelligence suggesting a powerful paedophile network linked to Parliament and Number 10.
I don't want to make this a long video, but there's just some extra things that I wanted to highlight. So as quickly as I can, I'll just throw in some additional information by reading out these reports. So many of the people on the list, otherwise named in the documents, were prominent, including a former Prime Minister. The Senator said that they were delivered to me by a police agency some time ago because no one seems to want to deal with them. It continued to say the Commission has inquired into child abuse in a wide range of institutions, including sporting groups, churches and after-school care services. And now there's a report on a victim who is a survivor of the alleged elite pedophile ring, including the former Prime Minister. And this lady's name was Fiona Barnett, and she detailed her alleged abuse by the elite pedophiles, which included high-ranking politicians, police and members of the judiciary at the age of 5, and claimed that there were thousands of other victims. She said that her experiences were horrific beyond words, and the way that she was being treated for reporting the crimes that she witnessed and experiences were far worse than the original abuses experienced. She went on to detail hundreds of crimes that she claimed she had witnessed, including child abduction, torture, rape and murder. She said that the operation was a very well coordinated international pedophile ring, and that there was a strict hierarchy. Fiona Barnett has told the Australian media that she was the victim of a child abuse ring, which included 3 former Australian Prime Ministers, so not just the one. She said she was prostituted to pedophile parties at Parliament House in Canberra. The CIA and its friends reportedly used child abuse rings to control the top people in Australia and elsewhere. 2 of the Australian Prime Ministers are deceased. Gough Whitlam was one of them, who fancied young Asian boys. There's one other report. It says the rape, torture and murder of Australian kids by those who believe themselves above the law is the real terror threat which demands prompt and effective action above all other issues. Those on the list feel entitled to commit these and other atrocities, secure in the knowledge that damaged victims will never be believed and their crimes would be never investigated. We've actually got the list now of the alleged pedophiles in the elite rings. So Fiona names the names of the people who sexually assaulted, raped and tortured her. I'll just read them out. Anthony Kidman, which was Nicole Kidman's father, Dr. Gittinger, who was a CIA agent and a Nazi concentration camp guard, actor Bruce Spence, former US President Richard Nixon, former Australian Prime Minister Gough Whitlam, former Australian Prime Minister Bob Hawke, former Australian Prime Minister Paul Keating, former Australian Prime Minister Kim Beazley, former New South Wales Premier Bob Carr, former Australian cricketer Richie Bernard, Ted Turner from the CNN. So I've got a pretty prominent list of people in power who have been involved in this stuff, and I'm sure that list is massive and goes on and on for days. Here's another one here that came up randomly on my feed this morning. Greens candidate who ran against the Prime Minister at 2019 election charged with child sex offences. They're everywhere. Here's another list of Australian politicians convicted of crimes. Let's have a scroll through this. It goes on and on and on. Murder. 33 counts including child sex and drug offences. Child sex offences. The Labor Party. Child sex offences. Producing child pornography and sexual penetration of a child, 2011, obtaining access to child pornography, 2015. So from what I can see, we've been completely overrun and taken over by pedophiles, sex offenders, and pedophores, and everyone seems to be completely fine with it. They've infiltrated our system and they're running our country now, and we're all happy about it. So if this is the way we want the world to go, let's keep on doing nothing about it.